Perhaps the ultimate in home defense practicality. A nice, short, and compact Glock magazine fed 9mm carbine from Darkstorm Industries. Coming up next on GB Guns. Hey, welcome back to GB Guns. Got a pretty cool piece here from Darkstorm Industries. This is one of their pistols in 9mm. And we've been doing a lot of pistol caliber carbines lately, and pistol caliber AR-ish platforms, if you will. These guys piqued my interest because, well, one, it's 70-75 billet upper and lower, and they use a lot of their own parts. But also, these guys are fighting a good fight. They are behind enemy lines in the state of New York, and in addition to making models like this for us in the free states, they are also making models that are California compliant and New York compliant and deal with all of those crazy unconstitutional felonious laws that states like that have. So although compliance with an unconstitutional law is maybe something that shouldn't have to happen, I do appreciate that someone is out there not only making a buck in those states out of building these things, but also helping the citizens of those states acquire defensive tools that are compliant for the state. So, without any further ado, let's take a look at this gun. Starting up front, we do have a flash can type muzzle device on the end of it, which is kind of neat. I don't think there's a whole lot of flash on there, but it definitely looks cool. 7.5-inch barrel. This is their own super slim handguard. You can see how slim that is. We'll of course show clear by grabbing this nice large charging handle. And as you can see, it locks open and the Glock magazine drops freely, which is really awesome. It's also really easy to get the magazine in there thanks to that nicely flared mag well. It's flaring there. Our handguard to receiver matches up very nicely. Nice big ejection port there. That should aid in reliability. You get some light in there, you can see into the chamber some. Interesting lines here, like that kind of stylish, and some grooves on the front for those of us that like the magwell grip. Integrated trigger guard, of course, nice and broad, leaving no gap there for patrol knuckle. And this very cool buffer tube cover that includes QD points, front and rear, and the saddle style cheek rest on the back end. It looks a lot like a PDW race, but it is not. We'll let the bolt go forward. I'll separate the upper and lower and we'll take a closer look. Love that ring. So taking a closer look at the lower here, nice big beefy ejector. That's not going anywhere anytime soon, especially being held in by those two screws there. Pictogram for the selector, which is cool. This is their own safety selector, which of course is ambi, with pictogram on both sides. Standard sized pins for the trigger. We have been running into some issues with these 9mm not accepting a lot of aftermarket triggers, and that's dependent on the bolt design. This is their own bolt, so we'll see if maybe it'll accept those triggers or not. You can see that this has been staked thoroughly on both sides. You've got traditional sling mounts on both ends there, and the QD on both ends. And then this saddle is actually quite comfortable, and the Hogue grip, which is of course also a favorite of ours. Fairly standard style bolt catch and release, a little bit different than your standard GI. Everything is kind of a nice step above. So that's the lower. Let's take a look at that bolt and the upper up close. One other bit I wanted to point out that I just caught is that little piece of polymer in there on a screw is a tensioner to help ensure that the upper and lower stay nice and tight together. That's considered to be an upper end feature. How it applies on a relatively short barreled 9mm, I don't know, but it's certainly a nice thing to have on there. Now let's take a look at that upper. So starting off on the back side, these cutouts are kind of neat and keep it lightweight. This whole thing, by the way, only weighs about 3 pounds, which is fairly light. This piece here is what works and how the bolt release and bolt catch works. So magazine's empty, pushes up, locks the bolt. When you push the paddle, it pushes on this. So that's kind of a neat conversion there. Concept. You can see into barrel. Everything's very cleanly machined. It's being built upper and lower. There's that charging handle. It's a standard size charging handle, which is nice. It means that you should be able to swap in any aftermarket charging handle you want, though I really like this one. That's a nice big large grabbing surface, not sharp, nicely done. And here is their bolt. They say it's of their own design. This is a used gun, so it came with a bit of dirt and grease on it. And you can see that wedge shape there, that release, a relief for the weight that's in there, hopefully means that we can try to fit some aftermarket triggers in there. So overall, a very nice package. I think a very handy design and shape and size, kind of solving that question of finding the ultimate for what could be a home defense or a truck gun. Very compact, and with a 7.5-inch barrel, you're getting a bit more energy and oomph out of the 9mm than you do from a standard handgun. Of course, accepting Glock mags is a big plus. We'll get it out to the range soon and try it out with some different magazines, factory and non-factory, and light loads through heavy loads, and see how it performs. But so far, I'm pretty impressed. What do you guys think? Thanks for watching.